It began as an ordinary dinner plan. My wife, Laura, and her group of friends gathering to celebrate a birthday. They called themselves the Independent Queens, always talking about freedom and self-love. I admired it first. But over time, their definition of independence started to twist into something selfish. What began as empowerment turned into arrogance. Each get-together seemed to drain something from Laura. She'd come home colder, detached, and dismissive. I told myself it was just a phase, that her friends were rubbing off on her too much. But that night, I learned how wrong I was. I decided to surprise her at the restaurant, brought flowers and a small gift. She was sitting at the center of the table, laughing loudly, surrounded by her friends. For a moment, I just watched her smile. Then I waved. She saw me, but her expression shifted. She leaned toward her friend Sophie, whispered something, and they both laughed. Still, I walked over, trying to keep it light. "Hey," I said, handed her the flowers. "Thought I'd stop by to wish you all a good night." Her friends exchanged knowing glances. Laura sighed, clearly uncomfortable. "You didn't have to come, Mark," she said flatly. "We're having a girls' night." I smiled, pretending it didn't sting. "Just wanted to see you for a second." Then Sophie, who never missed a chance to make a scene, smirked and said, "Laura doesn't need husband check-ins anymore. She's her own woman." The others laughed. Laura joined in. "Exactly," she said playfully. "Independent. No reporting back." The laughter hit harder than I expected. I stood there for a moment, feeling like an outsider in my own marriage. I'd stood by her through everything. Career struggles, new dreams, hard nights, never once trying to hold her back. But right then, she made me feel like something to be rid of. I set the small wrap box on the table. "You're right," I said quietly. "You don't have to check in. And from tonight, you won't have to check back either." She blinked. "What are you talking about?" I nodded toward the gift. "A bracelet. It says Forever Us. You can keep it or throw it away. Either way, you got what you wanted, your independence." The table fell silent. One of her friends muttered, "Mark, don't be dramatic." "Not dramatic," I said softly. "Just done." I turned and walked away. I heard her call my name once, but I didn't stop. That night, I didn't text her. I didn't fight. I didn't explain. I went home, packed my things, and left. When she finally came home hours later and saw half the closet empty, her voice shook. "You're leaving over a joke?" I looked at her, the woman I thought would never humiliate me that way, and said, "It wasn't a joke to you. It was your truth. You wanted freedom. Now you have it." She tried for weeks to reach me. Her messages came one after another. I didn't mean it. My friends made me feel pressured. "I love you. But sometimes love can't survive the wounds pride leaves behind." Months later, I heard she stopped seeing those friends. Life had hit her hard. She'd lost her job, her apartment, her confidence. And when she needed them most, they vanished. Independence was easy when things were good, but when the world turned cold, it left her standing alone. One afternoon, she called me again. Her voice was small. "Mark," she said, "I finally understand what I had." I closed my eyes. "I don't blame you for wanting to grow, Laura. I just wish you hadn't had to burn us down to do it." She cried softly on the other end. I didn't hang up, but I didn't go back either. Sometimes walking away isn't about punishment. It's about peace. That night, when her friends toasted to her freedom, they didn't realize what she'd really lost. Because in proving she didn't need me, she proved something deeper. She'd forgotten what love meant. And when I walked out of that restaurant, I didn't just leave a marriage. I left a version of her that cared more for applause than for loyalty. In the quiet that followed, I found the one thing she always claimed to want most: peace. But unlike hers, mine didn't depend on anyone's approval.